right, y'all. So, welcome back to another episode of the Red and Wine Podcast, where we are reading, drinking, and discussing this awesome book called The Nickel Boys by Colson Whitehead. And on this week's episode, we are discussing chapter 5 through 9. All right, y'all. Oh, sorry. My name is Keiyana. Whoever next.
Oh, and I'm Cece.
And I'm Tiffany.
All right, y'all. So we're going to get into it, chapter 5 through 9. So let's start with chapter 5. Oh, I was not expecting this. Chapter 5. I feel like Cece and Jaz, they set us up because they said they already read past.
You know, I felt that too as I was reading. I said, come on now.
I was waiting for that moment where it's like, didn't get it. But all right.
Not a thing.
Okay.
I think this is the episode we see what he's doing in his day-to-day at Nickel. So they basically, the boys go to school where they're not really learning much of anything, especially Elwood, who is like, he's super smart. And he's like, this is not doing anything for me. And so then he asks the teacher if he can get some advanced work. And one of the boys in the class was like, you really think you gonna get some advanced work? Like, that was funny. I was like, well, dang, you don't think there's a possibility? I guess not. Anyways, and then they go to work. You know, they working, they cleaning up the grounds, they doing all sorts of stuff.
Right. And I noticed in this book, in this chapter, I shouldn't say this book, but this chapter, you know, Elwood makes some friends. And I'm like, okay. We introduced to, what's his name? I wrote down the names. Turner and Desmond. I was like, okay. Elwood getting some friends around here. And like you said, the whole situation about the books, I was just like, oh my gosh. Like, this don't seem like it's, well, I guess later on we found out it's a reformatory school. I didn't know that before then. Y'all know that? Like, it was a reformatory type school. I didn't catch that until later on, but I don't want to get too ahead of myself. But I was just like, Elwood is like so out of his element. I just kept thinking like he is just so out of it. Like he wants these books. He got like the black books, the colored section, and white boys on this side. And like you said about the books, he asked for a updated set of books, and it's like, okay, I don't think Elwood's gonna get these books.
Yeah, the teacher said, yeah, we'll look into that for you.
He did talk to that teacher about going, getting moved up into, more accelerated schooling. And that one teacher did say he's going to try to do it for him. Yeah. He's going to try to make that happen because that's the teacher that knew that he was different in the beginning and knew, that this kid don't belong here. Right. And remember that guy who said, I heard about you. He'd already heard about Elwood. Right. So he knew that he was smart. So I think he's going to end up getting put into the classing and the schooling that he wants later on in the book. But, stuff got real after that. So.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, stuff got real. I almost want to, like, skip and then come back to chapter 5. Because he got so real.
Well, there wasn't really too much in chapter 5, though, really.
No, I just noticed.
Well, he got teased a little early in chapter 5. After lunch, he teased him a little bit because some of the things that he said is the way he was eating. Remember though he was eating his food? Yeah. And they were like laughing at him, the little ugly bully boys was laughing at him.
Yeah.
It's like your classic like nerdy kid scene in like a movie when he's going through the lunch hall trying to find a place to sit and everybody's like, no, you can't sit here. No, you can't sit here. It's just like then he go sit in the table with the little kids and they're like, what you doing over here? I'm like,
he got rejected by the little kids. I was like, oh no, dang.
Like, the little kids was like, there's no space for you here.
I was like, if you don't drink your juice box, leave me alone.
Okay, leave me alone.
But eventually, I think this is when isn't this when he goes to sit with Turner? Is this?
Yeah,
he sits at his table. Turner.
I think that's where he kind of meets the bullies. I think I wrote the names down. Griff, Lonnie, and Black Mike. He kind of meets all of them at the same time. And I guess Turner kind of befriended him and was like, dude, why are you chewing like that?
Yeah.
Yeah. Why are you eating like that?
Yeah.
But from this chapter, I guess you saw what they were doing.
Yeah.
Outside. I'm like, that's why I said I didn't get it at first, because I'm like, they outside picking cotton. What y'all doing? Picking cotton, but picking whatever they was picking. Fruit or something. They was picking something and breaking up stuff and doing like outside chores. I'm like, what is this? What kind of school is this? Like, what? So I thought I took away from that, like, that's kind of like your modern day slavery type situation. Well, I ain't gonna say modern day, but that was like some low key slavery type stuff. I was like, so you got all the black people working out in the fields, and then you had the White House, and then you had the not horsemen. What's it called? The housemen. They are kind of like little masters. They watching everything what's going on. I'm just like, well, okay, this sounds like some low key slave master and slave type situation, but okay.
It's craziness happening.
Very.
Yep.
After that, it got crazy, girl.
Now, when you moved on to chapter 6, it not really a lot happened, but it was like the same. It's just day to day.
Right.
Because
just day to day.
5 and 6 were short chapters. Chapter 7 was long.
Yeah.
Well, I'm gonna say on the audiobook, chapter 7 was like 7 minutes. That went by quick. I was like, that's all of chapter 7?
Yeah, it wasn't a lot.
Yeah,
it's not a lot.
And then chapter 8 was 34 pages, so it wasn't even. It was like that. And I was like, dang, these 2 chapters is long.
Right.
5 and 6 were short, so it wasn't really too much happening except the same stuff. When you got to chapter 7, it got real.
Right.
Well, chapter 6.
Well, you're right. 6.
This is when we find out the beatings.
Right.
Yeah.
So before we get to number 6, y'all, any final thoughts on chapter 5? I know not too much happened, but I guess just kind of getting inside of Elwood's day to day, him learning the system, and I guess fooling around what's going on, getting his footing a little bit, I guess.
Yeah.
So, all right, let me look. I got notes. Let me get on my notes.
Turn the page.
All right. I take the minute up to chapter 6, but all right. So chapter 6. Well, let's back. Chapter 5. He tried to stood up for that little boy Corey. I don't know if y'all remember that scene when that's how he got in trouble. So I was like, all right, let's bring that in. So that leads into chapter 6 on what the punishment was, which I'm just like, I don't know. When I was reading chapter 6, I was like, God, Elwood. It's just like Elwood is like, he's one of those people where he just tries to stay out of trouble. He ain't trying to do nothing, trying to do the right thing, and then it just backfired. I'm just like, Elwood is getting played throughout this book. I'm not happy.
I mean, he's just nice. He's just too nice.
Too nice.
And he ain't got no street smarts. It's like, you can't be getting into business. Like, that's not a thing.
At all, because even though he was doing the right thing, it's like, you got to be aware of your surroundings, baby. Do you not see what's going on? Like, they had already told you about this back room where people get beaten. Like, I wouldn't want to do anything that would cause me to get taken back there. I'm just prayed for the man and kept pushing.
Keep it moving.
Pretty much.
Walked out that bathroom like I didn't see.
I can't fight. You know you can't fight, Elwood. Why would you even
trying to do the right thing?
Like that meme. What is you doing, baby?
Right. It's just like, I don't know. It's like when I was reading that, I was just like, God, Elwood. Like,
I was like, no, don't. And I'm like, he's gonna do it anyway. I wasted my breath.
And then I'm thinking back to the previous chapters where, he felt so proud in a stand and stuff. So I'm like, maybe he thought this was like his moment. Like, I'm gonna take this moment. I'm gonna stand up for somebody because somebody getting bullied. It's like, you get beat up and get in trouble. Like,
yeah. And he's like, well, that's not right, you know. And I'm like, we know it's not right. Like,
right.
But you can't be intervening in every situation, you know. That's not going to be good for you. So, I don't know, but they get all dragged out to this warehouse in chapter 6. And then this is when we see them get beat, and Elwood is counting the lashes for each boy. He's trying to see if it's like an even number, like how many can he expect. He's just trying to anticipate it, you know.
Which I feel like I would have done the same thing. Like, all right, so he got about 20, so I'm not really in it like that. Maybe I should get less than that.
Yeah.
It's like, oh snap, oh boy got like 60.
Oh, he got 60. Another one got 70.
But what he kept saying is they would keep that machine on loud so you couldn't hear the screaming and how many lashes. So sometimes he wasn't able to hear very well who was getting what. So that loud
it was a fan.
Fan.
Yeah, that big industrial type fan. Yeah.
Yeah, to try to, you know, muffle the sound. Then on top of that, Arrow, you the only one out of them that they was black, correct? Was he the only black boy that was getting
I don't
beat?
know.
And that's why they saved him for last. And during his beating, they were calling him Nigger. They didn't mention him when they called that. So I'm thinking,
I can't remember. I just figured they were black.
That's what I figured. I figured they were black. Now I wrote down Corey, and then there's another name here, but my handwriting kind of slipped. Lonnie, that's what it was. Lonnie and Corey.
Lonnie and Black Mike.
Black Mike, that's what it was.
Yeah, I think they're all black though.
Now they could be getting beat for different reasons. They may not all have been involved in that one incident with Elwood, but maybe this is like the lashings for the evening. I don't know though.
Well, those two, the other ones mentioned, 2 of them were troublemakers, and they were well-known troublemakers. And that wasn't their first time. They had already said that. So them 2 went in there, you know, with a smirk attitude from the beginning, even though they knew that they was going to get beat. Elwood and that other one that was scared, the one that was getting bullied, was terrified. Him, the one that went before Elroy, he was absolutely terrified. Because he was the one that was getting bullied. And he seemed like the weakest link out of all of them, even weaker than Elwood. And he got beat really bad. And they tripped me out how chapter 6 ended was Elwood saying they went in there, they took me in to get beat, and then he couldn't count the licks because he didn't know how many licks he got. He passed out.
Yeah, he passed out.
I wrote that down.
I was like, this made me mad. I was like,
that made me so
hurt.
I'll beat this boy till he passed out. What kind of beat? What kind of belt you got?
Right, and then I just wonder, like, anything else happened to Elwood because he passed out. So when he passed out, he was getting whooped and beat. It's like I wonder if anything else happened to him while he was passed out. Which of course I don't know. Well, I didn't really go into all that, but that was just my mind wondering.
Right.
Like I just wonder if anything else happened to Elwood. He just don't remember. You know, he passed out. They could have done anything to him. He passed out.
True.
I think it did because they told him the guys he had advice to make sure you stand still, don't move, because if you move, they have a stitching in the belt and it'll latch onto your flesh and pull your flesh. Elwood didn't move. He even said he didn't move, and he was biting the bed, holding onto the bed firmly and not moving. But when he woke up, when you go into because chapter 6 ended when I'm saying he passed out. But when you go into chapter 7, as soon as it starts, it says that when they took him to the ward, he had pieces of flesh that were hanging on his sides and on his scrotum. So if he wasn't moving, how would he get those type of injuries? So I'm thinking after he was passed out, they continued to beat him. And continued to beat him worse and worse and worse for him not to be able to walk and got to be hospitalized for days and days and days. And then for them to I'm not even going to get started with the aspirin. But then for them to say Yes, and then for them to say, the doctor to come in and say, oh, they got you bad.
Yeah.
They got you bad. He was worse off than the rest
Right.
of them. And then for them to say his flesh was hanging in between his thighs and on his scrotum, I'm like, oh.
Right.
Well, what's even worse is, well, it's all bad, but
Yeah.
I like that we get a picture of, in chapter 6, we're like, you know, we're introduced to this place where these boys are getting beat at. And, you know, you got a bloody mattress and you got straps down there. And, you know, I'm just like, man, this is like this is the place where people are getting beat and they're struggling and they can't, you know, nobody's going to help them anyway. But there's no any kind of order to this. It's just like everybody gets on the same mattress and they don't really care what it looked like, what it smelled like, whatever. You just gonna get beat.
Right. Know? I think they went into saying that Elwood saw like old blood stains and stuff on the mattress and stuff. So it's like, oh, you just know that had to stink. You just know that was not clean, very unsanitary, and like it was so sad because it's like Elwood didn't even. I just kept thinking he wasn't supposed to be in the situation anyway.
Yeah.
He wasn't even supposed to be there. The fact that he wound up all the way there and got beat, it's just like, what?
The worst. He got the worst beat.
And I think they did that because he was new. I really do. I think they did that because he was new. Like you said, Lonnie and Black Mike, they already been there, done that. They're like, all right, bro, come on, give me this little beating. You know, come on, do what you got to do. But like little Corey and Elwood they were fresh. He had never been there. He never got any trouble up to that point. Nothing. And it's just like I think they gave him the worst beating because he was new and, you know, try to teach him a lesson. One of those type situations. Like, okay, this gonna be your last time coming in here, or it should be your last time coming in here.
So this is what happens when you speak up, or this is what happens when you do X, Y, and Z. You know.
Right. Wasn't that called the White House? Because I think I have that in my notes. Was it called the White House?
I don't think that was the White House.
Or like a basement type area in the White House, maybe?
Yeah, it was a different, I don't know if it was different as far as location wise, but later on we're introduced to what is the White House. Right.
Yeah.
So also, I hated the way that that nurse, not even less alone the doctor. Of course, the doctor lays himself. Like the boy that was with him. What was it? The little boy that would start talking to him in the wheelchair when he was there. The little boy that was cracking jokes like.
Well, his friend Turner.
Turner. Turner was like.
Wait, hold on, Cece. You going into chapter 7? You going forward? Yeah.
That's what I was like. Hold up.
We won't get too much away, Cece. Hold on. Y'all ready to wrap up chapter 6?
Oh, yeah. We ready.
All right. Well, let's move on to chapter 7. DC is already in it.
Well, there was they had in chapter 7, before we get to that, they were talking about kind of, I think, Harriet, which is that Elwood's grandmother?
Yes.
So we get some background into that situation and kind of what happened with his parents as well.
But that was after. Like in chapter 7 starts out him waking up, and that whole first part is about him being in the hospital ward. They don't get to grandma and her daughter and husband and that story until after they go through the whole hospital scene with Elwood and Turner.
Well,
that's kind of after.
Well, that's not how I wrote it down.
But see, I got that happening first.
Yeah, because we get introduced to that, and then they get to the nurse stuff.
Because you know why? Because I didn't even know who they were talking about. I was like, who's Harriet?
Right. I was like, what's happening? He just got beat up. What happened to that?
Right. And then they was talking about his parents. They gave the parents' names. Wait. Wrote it down.
Hold on.
Evelyn and Percy.
Percy.
That's why I was like, who are these people?
Yes. And then I was like, oh, okay, this is the kind of the, I guess, introducing these, his parents and then his grandmother. But wasn't really a lot. It was just kind of their background, and then that Percy, his dad, got like a job opportunity in California. He said he was going to try their luck in California, and Evelyn was like, all right, let's go get the boy. And he's like, nah, just leave him. And I was like, oh,
it's cold. I'm like,
that's
oh,
messed up. You're like, okay. So
right.
that's kind of how he gets to be with his grandmother is, you know.
Oh, okay.
Them two were inseparable since then because, you know, the parents left.
Right.
Literally.
And I guess I say that brought it back to how I was thinking she felt like she had to protect him because the parents just took off. They was like, wait, we're going to go do their thing in California and left him here with me.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
That part even kind of bothered me because, like, the mama, it said that the mama was strong until Percy was around. When Percy was around, she did everything that he said. She never spoke up for herself or anything. And that bothered me. And then how the grandmother said that she would look at her daughter while she was breastfeeding Elwood and see the look of just nothing, no feeling, no emotion. And the mom would just stare off in space or to the window. Like she had no connection with Elwood whatsoever. No connection with that baby at all from day one that she had him. And that's why I feel like it was so easy for them to pack up in the middle of the night and leave him.
Middle of the night.
Not even gonna wait till morning. That's messed up.
And even the grandma was like, who leaves for a job in the middle of the night to California?
Right.
Yeah.
Who does that? And then you don't want me to wake up your baby so you can say bye?
Right.
Do y'all think it was really? You think it was really a job opportunity?
Right, and then you just assumed that I was just gonna say, yeah, I'll keep him. Like you ain't even ask.
Right.
You just was like, we out.
Yeah.
We leaving the baby.
I don't really know if there's really a job opportunity. I think it was just a reason to leave, to escape and start something new somewhere else.
They went to California. They could be in the next town over for all we know. It's like, no, y'all just sorry parents. You sorry and you selfish.
Right.
And that's why Elwood is meant to be something great.
Because
just to prove you wrong.
I guess it'd be like that. I mean, maybe she, like you said, maybe she just. I mean, all women ain't meant to be moms. So maybe she just didn't have that connection with the baby. Maybe she, she just wanted to be with Percy all by herself and not have the kid in the middle. That could be the case. Like you said, how could you just leave something? Like I just couldn't leave something I gave birth to. But you may not have that instinct, that motherly instinct.
Right.
So, like you said, I feel like it definitely was no job. I feel like they just took off and was like, let's go away.
Yeah.
Hope we get to find out more. I hope we get to find out what happened with the parents.
I do, because they left that alone and didn't go deeper into it.
So they just dropped that little.
Goes from present to past. It goes present to past, present to past, present to past.
See, that's
and I'll be like, wait a minute, I want to know what happened next, and then you're gonna take me back. Okay.
They were like, hold up, wait a minute, you don't get that yet. Let's take something else first.
See, that's why me and Tiff was confused when they started talking about Harry. I'm like, wait, whoa, let me write this down. Who's Harry?
Who's Harry? What's happening?
Who's
Percy?
I had to remember. Oh, that's grandmama. Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Right. They called up to me once they were talking, and when they mentioned Elwood, I was like, oh, so this must be the grandma, and these the parents.
Yep.
Got it.
Yep.
Got it.
Then we kind of go. I said, then they kind of talk about how Mr. Marconi, which is he the lawyer?
No, he was the.
Yeah.
Is he the lawyer?
Mr. Marconi was the store owner that Elwood worked for.
Oh yeah.
Was it?
Yeah, he was.
Yeah.
So he talks about Mr. Marconi and Harriet were they're trying to do everything they can to get Elwood out of there.
Yeah, I think they did they do have a lawyer.
Mm-hmm.
Well, they hired a lawyer, but Mr. Marconi was the owner.
Okay.
Was the owner of the shop.
Name, but he was a white guy, but he believed in Elwood's potential.
Right.
So he backed him 100%. They described him as someone that every time he would come to Harriet's house, she wouldn't let him leave without cooking him a meal and feeding him. Like, that's how much faith they had in him, and that's how much, I guess, she was close to him and believed him. Let's hope he disappoint me. I'll be upset.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Harriet tries to visit Elwood one day, like early on.
That was
after the beatings. And
that right there.
She couldn't visit him. And she's like, well, why? And I forget the answer that it was. Do y'all remember that?
He was sick.
He was sick.
He was sick. I'm like,
and then when she asked, well, sick of, well, how is he sick? What's wrong with him? He was like, lady, I don't know.
I said,
crazy.
I'm about sick of this book. About sick of it.
See, that's why
I was really upset. I was like,
yeah.
I just kept thinking, Lord, if she would have got to him, that really would have been the end of the book. She would have snatched him up out of there. I just felt like Granny was gonna go down like, you ain't gonna do this to my grandson. I'm finna snatch him up out of the school.
But that's what worries me. If she would have seen him and she'd have tried to do that, she's still just a black woman. And to them, this is like his little prison sentence. So she couldn't just take him up out of there. And I feel they would have done something to her. And then they'll just told everybody pretty much, oh, he ran away.
Yeah.
Right. We don't know what happened.
Right.
Like they were telling the other kids that didn't make it out of the beatings, they said they would tell them that they ran away.
That's true.
Girl, that just broke my little heart. I was like, oh my God. People sending their kids there. I guess, not knowing the situations and what's going on in that school.
Yeah.
And it's just the fact that you send your kid, they know what happened to your kid, but you like your kid just ran away and that's it. That's all the answer that you have. Your kid probably gone dead somewhere, then beat to death, and you just don't know nothing. Well, and it's like back in that day, they didn't have no technology or nothing like that. Right. So it's not like you couldn't find the kid or do anything in your power because, of course, there was the racial thing. So it's like, I was stuck. I was just like, oh, my God.
Yeah. At one point, they did mention that, a lot of those kids come from broken homes and parents really aren't looking for them anyway. So they were just like, oh, they're not ever going to come looking for this kid. So do what we want to do.
Right. I want to do.
So we get to the point where he's in the hospital. We see that the nurse doesn't care a lick about pretty much anybody. But mostly in this case, we're looking at Elwood, and she's just like, yeah, whatever. She just doesn't care. Like most of the staff in there, we see the nurse and the doctor, but I seem like there's not really. Of course, there's no care going on.
Yeah, that doctor tripped me out.
With that aspirin.
Okay, that's it. There's 2 aspirins. That's it. That's your remedy for everything. 2 aspirins.
You can get 1 aspirin or 2.
Okay. Then talking about how he was on the phone with the wife. I'm like, you're supposed to be a doctor seeing these patients up in here. Yeah, they're boys, but whatever. Arguing with her about on the phone with the wife.
Yeah. Stuff about the cousin that's asking for a home loan and just.
Is this guy even a doctor though? Like,
yeah, he's a doctor.
Like, is he a legit doctor?
Like a legit doctor.
Or is this somebody they said this is the doctor?
Right.
I don't even know.
No telling. With this situation, no telling.
Yeah.
I wouldn't even run it past. I'd be like, you know what? It makes sense. These ain't even real staff people.
Turner said, brings in NIGG word boy in with the 2 arms cut off and 1 leg cut off. Would that be 1 or 2 aspirin?
Okay. No, but what did y'all think about Turner eating the soap powder so he gets into the...
You know what? Like, isn't it sad that you got to go through that much length in order to, like, just escape for a little bit?
Right.
Escape, yeah.
That's sad.
I'm like, that speaks volumes, Joe. He did what he had to do, get away from his current everyday-to-day situation. I'm like,
yeah.
Oh my God.
And apparently the workload is hard because he said, I don't want to work today. I don't want to go through that.
Right.
And that's when he did it and put the soap. That's when Elwood seen him actually do it, pull it from his sock, swallow it, and literally 5 minutes later he was in pain from whatever that soap powder is made of. Must be something crucial.
Right.
Because he was in pain immediately, and then he said it only lasts an hour, and he gets a whole day or two of rest that he would not have gotten.
And the doctor kept telling him about the food.
Yeah, he said, don't eat the food.
Yes. Let's talk about the boy we never found out who he was behind the curtain.
Yes. I wonder if he's going to come up again.
I wonder.
I hope he does, because the doctor was nice. He said they talked to him in a way. The nurse didn't talk to him ugly like she did the black boys.
How much I want to bet that boy was white?
Oh, yeah.
He had to be. Yeah. But they said he was terminal. That's the phrasing they used. He was terminal.
Right.
So that made me think he's dying. He's not going to make it, and they know it. And that's why he's being treated that way. Or
perhaps.
But still, if he were black, they wouldn't care if he was dying. So he would still get treated crap.
Right.
But the way reading the Bible to him and going, and they wouldn't let anybody see him. That's what tripped me out. Like, why was he so secretive?
Right.
I'm thinking that he thinks that maybe he was black and they didn't want people to see them being that kind to a black kid. So they always kept him hidden. Like, no one else had curtains around their bed, but he did. And when they would go in there, they would make sure you can't see who they were talking to. So it's like, why are they hiding him? I don't understand that. If he's just another white kid that's dying, why is he being hidden? I never understood that.
And it's silly.
Well, because I mean, I thought he was white. I mean, that's just straight out the gate.
That's what I was thinking.
I'm like, they treat him with kind of like they read the Bible to him, giving him his privacy. I'm like, oh, he white. So I see with the perspective.
Well, he could be related to somebody, like one of the people that's in charge or something. Maybe he's a son of one of them, and they don't. Maybe he's somebody that nobody knows about, and they trying to quietly, like, let him go quietly in peace. I don't know. We don't know. But like I said, I hope we find out, like,
what happened.
Who he was. Because then he disappeared.
Yeah.
And I'm like, did he die?
Well, that would make sense with your theory with him having cancer.
Yeah.
Maybe he died.
Yeah. Because he had, in the middle of the night, even. So when Elwood wakes up, there's just a folded bed, and like, it's like he just left in the middle.
It's like they even snuck him out. They snuck him out the night. Like, come on.
Right.
What's going on? I know, but this place got too many secrets. Y'all doing too much. I can't.
Yeah, they had too many things.
Secrets and shady.
We did see, like, Elwood's reading a pamphlet while he was there about nickel. And it started in 1899 is when it opened. And, you know, it soon got support from the state. So they're giving money to fund this whole process. And we see that they take as little as 5-year-olds into this place. And you're just like, what in the world? What kind of place is it?
Then you see, and then you see that they make the boys take pictures. They make the boys take pictures every year, and they show the pictures of them. And the boys are smiling, but at the same time that they're smiling, Elwood says that he can see in their eyes the lost, dead look in their eyes.
It's crazy. Just insane. This was.
They made them smile. Pretty much. They made them act like this. They're so happy there. Because the pamphlet made other people on the outside think that this is such a great place and your kid is excelling and thriving. And how it put it, that when they leave there, they're going to be a respectable, great, successful citizen. No, they're going to be broken if they make it.
They make it.
They're going to be broken. Like, seriously, you got to make these babies pretend to smile for a picture because you know they're miserable. It's like crazy. And then the fact that it named something else before, the Florida Institute for Boys or something, and then it got changed to nickel because of the old guy the nickel guy.
Yeah.
That formed the place. And then they said that Elwood said he would see the picture of that guy on the wall, and he looked like he was looking at you like, I know what you're going through, or I know what you're thinking about me, and I know what you're thinking about this place, because they said the boys would call it the place where it expresses what they're all worth.
Yeah,
just a nickel.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that is right.
Yeah.
I remember that. Yeah.
Oh, it's crazy.
And
this was a good chapter, though.
It was a good chapter.
It was.
Lots of good stuff in here. Turner was talking about, he thought, maybe people were, his perspective on people between the free world and being in here. And he's like, I thought they were different, but it turns out everybody's just the same. And, of course, that his perspective changed after he had been there, because he had been here before. So so it's just, that's another atonement to just say that how much this place really breaks you down and gives you a different look on life, and not the best look on life that you could have had before you got there.
Right.
Craziness.
Yeah, this is true.
And I think this is the first, I think I wrote down scared. I think this is when we first see Elwood being scared for, because of what happened to him and stuff. I think he really was scared.
Yeah. I mean, he has every right to be scared.
Yeah, every right.
Know what's going to happen.
I'm trying to see, I can't remember. Did he say he was scared? Or did he mumble that? He said he was scared. I wrote that down. I can't remember if he said it or this author.
I don't really remember.
I don't remember. But if Elwood said it, I mean, like you said, he has every right to be scared.
Yeah, for real.
Yeah. I mean, after that beating and him laying up in the hospital all that long time, can't walk, scars, flesh gone. I mean, he has every right to be scared.
While they're in there, Turner gives him advice like, listen, just graduate and walk out of this place. And he also tells him that no one's going to help you. Because when we were talking about earlier, Elwood was like, Mr. Marconi and his grandmother trying to get him out of there. And he mentions this to Turner, and he's like, man, no one's going to help you. Just try to survive this and just try to walk out of here, basically.
Yeah.
And even in that part, Elwood was still like, oh man, I'm sure they can help you get out too. That's when he was like, nah, bro, ain't nobody gonna help you get out of here.
No one's coming. Look, no one's coming to help.
No one's coming for help.
Yeah.
He's in such denial. Sometimes I was like, Elwood.
Yeah.
You think that's just him being innocent, 14, naive, nerdy?
Yeah, but how long is it gonna take him to see? You are not at home. Okay, you are not in Kansas anymore, Dorothy. What are you doing?
Yeah, you're right about that. Yeah, I don't know. I mean,
you're right about that.
It's coming. Eventually, he's gonna.
Eventually, it's coming.
Yeah.
Chapter 5 through 9 wasn't it, but eventually, it's coming.
Sorry, the almost being beat to death would have done it for me.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
That's
sure.
You beat me to the point where I passed out and can't walk?
Yes. After that, I'd been like, you know what? I might not get out of here alive.
Yeah.
I better just breathe and move, as they say. And that's it. Can't nobody help me but God at this point.
Yeah.
Man. Was it this chapter or chapter 8? I won't get too far ahead, where Desmond was giving him tips on how to survive? Desmond was it Desmond?
That was 8.
That was 8? Okay, I'm getting too far. But yeah, Desmond was giving him tips on how to kind of move up.
Well, like at the end of chapter 7, we see that he finally gets to see his grandmother, and he can't really tell her what's going on. So he's just like, oh yeah, everything's fine,
Right.
Which hurt me. I'm like, oh man, because up until then he's been honest and really open with his grandmother, and he can't really say anything about this situation. So
I feel like,
and he said that it would break her, was his word.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And that couldn't do that to her because she would be in mental torture on knowing that he was going through that in that place.
Right. Exactly.
And she is a grandmother. I mean, that could affect her health-wise, all kinds of stuff, especially if she can't do anything about it right.
Yeah.
And he didn't want to cause that.
Right.
So even now, he's trying to protect his grandmother and her feelings, you know.
Still trying to be strong, you know.
Yeah.
I'll give him that.
Yeah.
He's trying to be strong and be like, I know I went through this, but I definitely can't tell my grandma. Like you said, it's probably going to hurt her a lot more than what it hurt him.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Because what he went through was but like you said, if it hurt him, you know, it probably would hurt her worse.
Yeah.
It would, because I feel like that he got beat to death, but that could get her beat to death as well, especially if her reaction is just one.
Mm-hmm.
You can tell how I talked to her when she simply asked what was wrong with him.
Right.
Yeah.
And he probably didn't want to mess up the moment.
Yeah.
Him seeing his grandma, you know.
Yeah.
Especially if he hadn't seen her in a while.
It wasn't none but God that I wasn't born in that time. Because, honey, my mouth, what you mean you don't know what's wrong with my baby? What you mean you don't know? Get him in furniture, move, all kind of stuff up in that place. And I've been one of them people back then that got killed quickly and early because I didn't understand why people were acting this way. I don't understand. Who are you talking to? Because you're not talking.
I mean, that's not funny, but that's funny.
Yeah, exactly.
Right. I probably would have lasted to age 12, maybe.
Yeah.
So that's when I think I've been started popping off.
Mm-hmm.
What you mean I can't here? Why not? I'm hungry. What you mean?
Yeah.
This bougie. I gotta go through the back. To the back what?
Okay. You want me to sit on the back wheel? The back of the bus. What? Who?
I ain't going back there. This is
go back there. My stop is next. I'm gonna go to the back of the bus. I'm about to get off in 2 seconds. Excuse me?
Okay.
No.
Okay. I use the what you call the colored water fountain. Y'all don't clean that one good. I want to use y'all. It's clean. Got this brown water coming out of our water fountain, and you want me to use that one? No.
You see,
oh
all my wine gone, girl.
Look.
Dude.
Oh my gosh. Y'all, it's crazy.
Oh man. All right. Any final thoughts for chapter 7? Final points.
Mm-mm.
All right, y'all. Let's move on to chapter 8.
Chapter 8.
Well, chapter 8, I almost thought too far ahead, but chapter 8, we meet a new character, Hopper. I don't know why I like to see it. I like to say Hopper like that. Like, just, we met Hopper. And, did we meet Jamie? This chapter, we met Jamie in chapter 6, 7.
Maybe.
Jamie was the little Hispanic guy that kept getting transferred.
Yeah. Now, listen, they don't know what to do with this Hispanic kid. They're like, okay, you're gonna be over here with the black kids this week, and then with the white kids this. I'm just like, they don't know what to do with this boy. At all.
Yes.
I wonder was he the only Hispanic?
And that's another thing.
Jaime. They supposed to be calling him Jaime, but they calling him Jamie because they don't know.
They don't know
which one or what to call the boy. Bless his heart.
Oh my gosh. Oh my goodness gracious.
That was just like a little funny part. I was like, let me tell you. So one week he go outside work, he dark with the black people. So then he lighten up and he go with the white people.
They just don't know. They just don't know. It's all kinds of craziness.
Poor Jamie.
Then on top of that, but wait, one thing that how chapter 7 started that got me is when Elwood got out and then he started back, with the work crew and all of that. It said that Elwood was whacking the plants, so the trees they had them whacking. he was whacking them violently and harder than everyone else. And I could just, that was the anger coming out of Elwood for the first time. Like, and they said stop himself and breathe and take breaths every time he would do that, and then he'd start back doing it all over again. They said he was hitting it harder than all the other kids. I'm like, that baby is it's coming. He's finna explode.
Yeah.
Or he's finna break down. One of the two.
He taking all that frustration, all that anger, which I'm glad he didn't take it out on nobody in particular. Well, I mean, I probably would have liked to see him do that. The two people that beat him, I probably would like to saw that. But I'm glad he didn't take it out on somebody, because that probably could have been even more punishment. I'm sure he probably would have disappeared if he would have did that. But yeah.
Oh my God, y'all! I'm sorry. This is what I've been trying to remember to say from chapter 7 that I found out.
Okay.
When he was looking through the pamphlet, and it was saying about the people, the workers that work there, and how they wanted that place to be a place. They wanted people to think that Nickel was not a place that was like prison. It was more like school and reforming these boys to be better people. Yeah. But then they said the whole staff had all been to prison.
Yeah.
All of them.
Yeah.
The entire staff had all been to prison. That makes me think that maybe that doctor wasn't a doctor. He was locked up too.
Yeah.
It was all had been to prison. I was like, y'all got these prison inmates running this entire school. Yeah. I was like, well, no wonder it's hell on earth.
And then you have a certain color of prison inmate.
Yeah.
So it's like
only the white.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
I had to say that.
That's good. Chapter 8 is Elwood found some books.
Girl, that's the first thing I wrote down, child.
Ain't he always finding, like, it's funny, he always finding the books.
Every time.
Always finding books. He still try to make it into a positive. Oh, I wanted to learn British literature when I wanted to go to this college.
Let me just read these books, because these.
Like, come on, Elwood.
I think that gives him peace. That's part of who he is. And that gives him peace. And how he's probably feeling right now, he needs to have a book in front. He don't need to be up just thinking. Yeah. He really don't.
Needs a way to cope. Yeah, really that's it for him.
And then, like, on top of that, we learn in this chapter that y'all were right. Mr. Goodall was his name. He's full of crap. Yeah. Edward is never going to get better schooling. No. He's never going to move up. And even Elwood realizes that the guy's full of crap. And he even said, I'm just going to stop asking him, because I know I'm never going to get better schooling here. He's just telling me what I want to hear.
Right.
And I was like, dang.
I know.
Same. Elwood.
Oh,
so he is starting to realize. He is starting to come to, like y'all said, he's starting to realize I need to wake up, because what I'm thinking is going on is not what's going on.
Right.
Do y'all remember about the demerits? They talked a little bit about the merited system and how you can, this is what got me, is because they said you can get 200 demerits for jacking yourself off, but if you jacking somebody else off, you only get 100 demerits.
Yes.
And I'm like, huh?
Yes.
What?
Yes. That was
This is insane.
This is, and like, who said that? Was that Desmond giving him like the tea on the merits?
I think so.
Yeah.
Because he kept telling him like certain things. I guess like in the certain houses where they were at, and where the white folks at, some things were like not that high on the scale, and some things were lower on the scale on them.
Or the black side. Yeah.
Yeah. When I was listening, I was like, what? Yeah. So how is that higher, lower than me doing it to myself is higher than doing it to somebody else?
Yeah. Craziness. Elwood has a plan, you know, he's trying to make it through to the other side. He was like, listen, you know, I gotta focus, you know, I gotta watch what's going around, you know, think about stuff more, maybe about what he's saying more to people, and then like plan to get out of here. Like he's like, I gotta get out of here. This is not gonna work for me. And I think a lot of this comes from what Turner was telling him in the last chapter. And he's seeing it now. He's like, all right, it's being a little bit more clear to him that the only way he's going to get out of this is just like put his head down and just try to just work to get out of here.
Right.
So he got that mentality now.
Oh, what you saying, Cece?
No, I was just going to say, even that, Elwood even said he thought maybe a part of why his beating was the way that it was because he requested to have better classes.
Yeah.
And that of him being punished for thinking how Edward put it, let's get this uppity N-word. And so he's even reflecting on that, like, this is bigger than what I'm thinking that it is.
Right.
Like, this goes way further than what I thought. And I really got to watch it moving forward. And that's why he's not going to ask Mr. Goldwood, whatever his name was, anymore about oh, no, I'm saying no. Just read them little books that's made for 2-year-olds and keep it pushing.
Yeah.
For real. Like Tiffany said, he was talking to Turner. Turner gave him the tea. And I think that beating kind of gave him the motivation to be like, all right, I'm going to do what I got to do to kind of get up out of here. But even, oh boy, I'm still thinking it's that Desmond said that, where he was just like, you could do everything right and they'll still come back and get you, or,
Trouble will find you.
Yeah, trouble's going to find him. And it's just like, well, it seems like Elwood is screwed either way. I'm like, how?
And then,
that's like,
and then he sticks out.
Yeah,
because he's not like, he sticks out too. He's like an easy, it's like it's hard for him to even hide because now all the boys know what kind of kid he is.
Right.
And that he thinks he's smarter than everybody else. He's funny. He's like a nerd. So he doesn't blend in with the rest of them boys that are there because their parents really put them in there because they didn't know what to do with them.
Right.
Or like a lot of them boys are there because their mothers were prostitutes and they just needed to be somewhere else away from that.
Right.
So it's easy for him to hide. And that's what and I really hope the book doesn't. I'm hoping this book doesn't end tragically. I don't want to be sad.
I think at this point, this is what I'm thinking. I'm like, oh no, I hope this is not like a bad ending for Elwood. But
I know we haven't
got
to
think about that.
I hope it don't end bad for Elwood. But
I'm gonna be mad.
But yeah,
he does have a little bit of saving grace when he's introduced to Harper, and Turner gave him like, hey, you should check out Elwood for this community service because he's got a good head on his shoulders. So having him as a friend in there helped out.
Which sounds a lot like jail, if you ask me. Community service, picking and raking and cleaning and.
But the only good thing about this community service is they get to be out of the nickel for a little bit, and they get to do odd jobs around town, and they picking up canned goods and stuff from stores and restaurants and all this other stuff. And so it's a different, it's good because it's a little bit of a break from nickel in itself, and it's not as work, but it's probably like not as much work as they would have been doing at nickel.
I'm just hoping that it's Harper that's going with them and not one of them other guards or watchers, because even when they're working out and doing community service, if one of them evil people is with him, then any little thing he does wrong, when he gets back to nickel, they're going to punish him for it, or what they think is wrong.
Right.
Yeah, well, they said Harper was the one in charge of that.
Right.
Doing
Harper
that.
Seemed cool though.
Yeah, he seems like a cool dude.
He seemed cool. I mean,
he did say that in one point he was like, you guys are just like me. You just ran into some trouble. That's all.
Right.
So he seems like he's on their side. So.
Right. He does seem like that. Like that's what I wrote down. Like Harper seems cool.
Yeah.
Like he don't seem like he's the one to be snitching or
right.
beating all up on him, He taking my dude little community service, like, all right, y'all can do what y'all gotta do. But wait, Harper had a whole girlfriend out in the streets. I said, well,
right. That's why Harper left him alone. He's like, listen, I gotta go see my girl. I'll be back. Like, y'all can paint this.
Y'all can paint this little house. Paint what you gonna paint. I'm gonna see my girl down the way. Like, well, hold
on. Okay. Make sure you get in between the lines. Thanks.
Yeah.
Okay.
Are the jobs that they're doing for these people? Do y'all remember I don't remember exactly who it was. Oh, the people on the school board are the people whose houses they're going to do these jobs for. So I'm pretty sure all this has to do with the school board kind of entrusting this to Harper, and then Harper's trying to just find people he could trust to take care of the work and get all this stuff done. So, I mean, even, of course, everything's all connected. It goes back to the school and all this other stuff. But
I think, wasn't they dropping off? The author makes a point about something about the toothpaste. He was like, oh, now I see why we don't have any toothpaste. And I was like, what?
Yeah. So I think that's because they're getting all the food and everything that's probably left over from these restaurants. And, of course, I don't understand where the money comes in, because they make a point to say there's money being changed from the people to Harper. And I'm like, but why? So that was kind of weird. I didn't get that.
I was like,
Yeah. I'm like, what's happening? So I'm guessing they don't have any toothpaste because they're like, we're not giving you that. That's not on this. We're not doing this on this load. And they probably never give them the toothpaste because it might be something that's not kind of like rich people like, but maybe you have to, I don't know what it is. I don't know. Like they probably look down on these boys and they don't want them to have certain things.
Probably so.
Maybe that's
like
where it comes from.
Up-to-date textbooks, toothpaste, maybe proper food.
Yeah.
Back to the chapters. Boy told him not to eat. Right. No, boy told him not to eat the food, so it's like, okay, maybe they're not getting the freshest type of food or the best food. It could be a whole lot of things.
They definitely getting the old food, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Just because of the nature of that school, it's like where the bad kids go. So why are we going to give them good food? No.
Right.
They get the trash, the leftovers, the stuff that's out of date. So.
Right.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it's crazy. I like how the author gave Elwood, what you want to call it? Use the imagery of how Elwood was going to the eye doctor and how they would do the little lens.
Oh, yeah.
I like that. How he was saying going from nickel to outside was like looking in a new lens.
Yeah,
I was like, wow. Like, you didn't think somebody like him coming from the outside, going in, being outside longer than what you've been in, how that short amount of time then changed your whole life perspective.
Yeah.
And you come back out and you're like, oh my God, this is new. I was like, wow. I like the way he
explained that. Yeah, that was good.
Yeah. I wrote that down. I was like, yeah, I like that part.
Yeah. Oh, now don't forget how Elwood was waiting for retaliation from Big Mike and the other boys, waiting for them to do something to him. And they never did. Except for that one time where one of the boys, he called it hip checked him and it knocked Elwood down the stairs.
Yeah.
But and then the other boy, Corey, that he tried to save, just winked at him. He said it was like they'd all moved on to just guarding themselves again, protecting themselves, trying to survive, pretty much. And that shocked him that they didn't try to get back at him, because he said he was trying to get ready for that, because he thought them boys was going. I thought they were going to mess with him.
Yeah,
I really did, and they did.
I didn't think they was gonna mess with him because they all got it. You know what I mean? And it's like, all right,
but they gave him a look before they got beat. They gave him a look like, "Ooh, when this is over."
But then wasn't it Turner that said that they do this? They like that kind of stuff. Like,
he said that's kind of what they do. Yeah.
I was just like, well.
Which is why Elwood shouldn't have stepped in, because they've been there longer. They know the ropes of what's going on. Elwood's just trying to.
Elwood so innocent, don't know nothing. Green as grass, just walked in there trying to save somebody.
Yeah.
Right.
It didn't work.
Was there anything else in chapter 8?
Yeah.
Was it Turner stuff?
Well, yeah, about Turner. Learn more about Turner and how he ended up getting back there. I think, was that the first time or that's the second time? You know, he said
the second time.
It's the second time, right?
Mm-hmm.
And how he ended up. I like how they gave more background to him.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, because he was just a friend. Doing soap powder to stay inside the hospital. But I like how he got more background. How he was saying how he was a pin setter at the bowling alley, and how he was like, making jokes and being funny with the people that came in there, and how the little black cook kind of told him like, "We up there shucking and jiving." I said, "Lord have mercy." We know we be using that shucking and jiving.
Shucking and
jiving. I think that just broke his little spirit. He was just like, man, like, I'm just cracking jokes being me, and I think they really broke his spirit. And then he started being all mean and what did he do? Then he got into one of the guys, he did something to that guy at the bowling alley.
I don't remember exactly what happened.
But
I'll be a little honest with you here. I heard this part and I was just like, yeah, okay. I myself didn't really take in a lot from his story, because before this part, I was like, wait, who are we talking about now? And then I was like, oh, Turner. Like, okay, this is his story about how he got here. Okay, cool.
Well, I can appreciate a little character development.
Yeah.
Just to see how he got here.
Was, I don't understand why the people were treating the boys like these are those bad kids from that place. They can't have this and have that. Because if you remember, Elwood said that when they got on the gray bus, this was the only bus that didn't have nickel written on it. It was just a regular gray bus. So it wasn't out there where the boys came from, unless Harper voluntarily would tell them, which I wouldn't think he did.
No. I don't think so.
Maybe they're just some mean people. I can't.
Maybe. Oh, sorry, y'all. Excuse me. Maybe some of them folks know what's really going on, and they just turn the blind eye.
Yeah, turn the other cheek.
I mean, that would really make sense, because at the time, a lot of white people turned a blind eye to what was going on. May not have liked what was going on with African Americans.
Yeah.
But they just turned the blind eye because they ain't going to be the one white person standing up for black people.
Right.
So maybe some of them schoolboy people. Yeah. Maybe some of them schoolboy people knew what was going on, and they were just like, don't see nothing. All right. Any final thoughts for chapter 8?
No.
Y'all read chapter 9? I didn't really write too many notes on chapter 9, but
this was when we found out about like this boxing situation, and they put these boys in the ring, and they just bet on them, and they said they normally bet on the black kids, and I was like, oh, really? So you just think that they just gonna win all the time? So that was interesting. But a lot of this chapter had to do with like I think Big Chet was the contender for the white boys.
Yeah.
And like how he was, kind of a little bit about him. Maybe I think they kind of went into a little bit about him. And then kind of the other kid, which is Griff, for the black boys. And they talked about him and him doing his training and stuff like that. So we find a little bit of going on. Like the superintendent told him Mr. Spencer told Griff to basically lose He was like, you should lose, you know.
Yeah.
And Griff was like, yes, sir. You know. And I was like, oh, okay. So we just taking L's? All right.
Right.
Even though we could win? All right. So that was interesting.
Yeah. Also,
underhandedness.
I forgot, Jay, since you brought up boxing, back from chapter 8, remember when they said that the guys were listening to, like some of the workers were listening to the radio, and they were talking about a fight. So where some, you know, the N-word named Cassius Clay is going up against such and such, and he's fixing to get his you know what whooped. And I'm thinking, no, he ain't.
Okay.
And no, y'all, they didn't know who Cassius Clay really was yet. Then they just knew that he was fixing to fight this white guy that was supposed to be a good boxer.
Right.
And you know how he turned out to be the greatest of all time and turned out to be Muhammad Ali.
Right.
So that, oh wow, I like how he threw that in there.
Yeah.
Like, and how funny it was that they didn't know who he was going to be and how good he was. Right. But I'm sure they learned that.
Yeah.
So yeah, that tripped me out.
All right. A little foreshadowing. Got the boxing in chapter 8 to the actual boxing match in chapter 9.
Yeah.
I got it. But yeah.
This was so when Mr. Spencer told Griff to lose, Turner overhears this. So then he tells Elwood, because he trusts him, he's not going to tell nobody else. So he's like, man, let me tell you what I just heard, you know. They kind of go through the whole, the fight and everything happens. But I don't know, this whole thing, I was just like, wait, what? I always, in my mind, I'm like, is this some kind of underground boxing situation? Like,
well, you know what I thought about? Like, when I thought about the boxing, and I thought about the black boys boxing, I thought about that scene from Django, and like how they was fighting. Yeah. I don't know why that's just the first thing that popped in my mind. I'm like, it's around that time frame, and the white people was betting on which black person was going to win. I know it's a little different because it was a black person and a white guy, but I don't know why that's the first thing I thought about. But I was just like, ugh, these poor black kids. And this is something that happened annually. I was like, this is like a sport for y'all.
And they'd keep some kids back just so they could fight.
They kept that one kid back. He was supposed to graduate. And then he did something. They set up something that happened to get him in trouble. Knocked him all the way down the grub so he can fight.
Yeah.
I'm like, what?
Weird. Axel, that was his name.
Yes, Axel.
And that's another reason why Elwood is now realizing I may not make it out of this place. Like, it's like, no matter what you do, if they don't want you to graduate, you're not going to graduate. Especially if they think that you're an uppity N-word and you're smarter than them. And that's what got me worried about how this is going to end, because that's clearly, you know, if they don't want you to leave, you're not going to leave.
And I feel like Elwood is friends with Turner, and Turner got out and ended up coming back. So it's like, what did Turner do to graduate? You know, because I mean, he had to leave. He had to graduate to leave. So it's like, well, Turner, how did you graduate? You know?
I think Turner in that mouth, honey, Turner be giving all the tea. And he says whatever he wants to say. Even when they was in the hospital, he was saying that out loud where the doctor and the nurse could hear him, and they didn't say nothing. No. Like, he don't care. Turner probably went right back out there and was doing whatever he wanted to, mouthing off to people. And spreading tea.
Probably so.
Got him up in there.
But I just feel like, as far as Elwood, Turner is the closest person that can tell you how to get out of here.
Yeah.
Because he didn't got out and came back.
But he got out.
Yeah.
I just hope nothing happens to Turner. I'm going to say that. I'm just going to keep that. I'm going to pin that in there. Just hope nothing happens to Turner.
No. That's the only friend he got, really.
The only friend. The only friend. Oh, I hope nothing happened to Turner.
Oh man.
But so what y'all think about Griff? Griff didn't throw the fight like he was supposed to.
Griff was disheveled though.
Oh,
he got knocked out so many times he forgot what round it was.
Yeah. Oh yeah,
he thought he was still throwing this whole mission, and then he's like, "Wait, I didn't realize it." And he's just like, "I thought it was the second round." I was like, "Oh no, this poor baby."
Right.
He was so out of it.
He was out of it.
No, I was like, "This is horrible."
Horrible.
We also find out. Go ahead,
Cece.
Go ahead.
No, I was just saying, poor Griff.
Mm-hmm.
Like, poor thing. Like, went through the most. And I'm just like, for what? For what?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Because we also found out what is meant by taking someone out back. I don't know if y'all remember that from this chapter. But Mr. Spencer said, if you don't throw this fight, then you're going to be taken out back. And Turner, of course, he knows everything. So he's like, Elwood, let me show you what he means. Okay. And I'm like, look at Turner, schooling him.
Okay, Turner like, hey, you stick with me. I'm going to show you some things around here at Nickel. Okay?
Let me tell you. So basically, that's where you get killed. In a nutshell. They take you out back, and they put you in shackles, take a whip, beat you, and like, they beat you so hard you're done. And this is also when they started talking about, most of these boys don't have families, so nobody's going to come looking for them. And they could say that they ran away and stuff like that as well. So unfortunately, that's what happened to Griff.
Griff took a beating in the ring.
You know what? Everybody was like, all the black boys, they were like, yeah, they was excited.
Right.
They was cheering for him. And for 1 second, well, not really for him, because Griff was just like, no, I didn't realize. But, things were going great. And then Griff already knew. He was like, I'm finished. Like, I'm done. I'm not going to be here again. But, there was some whispers about, like, maybe what could have happened or whatever from the black boys' perspective. And it was like, he just wanted to have one last run of it and go out with a bang or something. But either way, we all know that Rick disappeared. Well, he didn't disappear. He died, and tragic. He was
murdered. Tragically murdered.
And I mean, this is bad. This is when I'm just like, Cece, I don't think you read the prologue, but they were talking about bones that they had found in the prologue. I don't know if you remember it, Keiyana. But this is when I was like, oh, okay, this is the place that they had ran up on where they found these bones. So,
and the tail end says they found Griff bones 50 years later.
50 years
I'm like,
later.
What?
Dang.
But now I gotta go back and read the prologue. Jeez.
Go back and read the prologue, Cece.
Prologue.
I wrote that. I'm like, bones. Wait, who bones is we finding?
Yeah, this was intense.
Yeah, this chapter was heavy. I ain't gonna even lie to you. This one was heavy. I was like, oh man. Like, I had to take a second after I finished. I was like, ooh.
Yeah, the 9th chapter was quite depressing.
Yeah,
it really was. And it was like poor Griff, because they set him up. He was just picture Griff being like this big, stocky, tough looking dude. Didn't really have an education. Was kind of easily swindled maybe. All he knew how to do maybe was fight for survival purposes.
Right.
And it's like they took that, used that against him, and he ended up dying. I ain't gonna say dying. They killed him because he didn't do what he was supposed to do. And the reason why they had that long run of black boys winning. It was like, we need to get a white winner. Now, I think the first guy was a white winner, and then after that, it was black all the way through. One. So old boy was like, look, we need us a white winner.
Yeah.
That's why they making them boys throw them fights.
Yeah.
Yeah, he wanted to throw that fight.
Yeah.
And it's just like, and I couldn't even imagine being Turner and Elwood in that moment because they sitting watching, knowing what's supposed to happen.
Supposed to happen. Mm-hmm.
And then
they're like, is he gonna do it this round? Is this it?
right.
Like, this is a perfect opportunity. That's what he kept saying.
They kept saying that. They were like, okay, but he gonna take it here. He gonna take it here. He never took it.
Yeah.
And then it's like, oh snap. Like Turner knew what was gonna happen. Like you knew the outback. I'm gonna take you out back. He knew what was coming.
Yeah.
And it's just like, oh my gosh, like how did you have sat there and know that and still watch fight go on?
Wow.
See, that's my stuff. That is why I say, well, even if you do graduate, you would come out so broken after seeing everything that you've seen and gone through what you've gone through. Especially a kid like Elwood that doesn't think these kind of things happen until he got to that place.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Like he's just completely not in the mental frame to think that this was normal there. Right. And now he's like, this is really my life right now. Like, oh my God.
Right.
I just want to read a book. I just want to read and listen to my Martin Luther King records. That's all I want.
Mm-hmm.
That's all I want to do.
Yeah. He's just
I want to get the best education. Not on these little kindergarten books. I want to get the best education I can get.
Yeah.
And then just to find out all that was just like a setup. All this that he going through is just ridiculous. It's like, how did he end up here? It's like, what did you do to get here? Like, what? Like, boys, they come, disappear, and it's like, I wonder, even that's like a real truth. Like, you know, because they're saying, oh, they disappeared or they ran away. Like, okay, clearly they're not running away.
Mm-hmm.
You know, really killing these boys on this school. Like, they really are killing them.
Yeah, it's sad.
It's sad. Our next book, we're gonna have to find something funny.
You know, when I was reading this, I said, well, we need an uplifting book next time.
Yeah,
we need something powerful and funny, uplifting, because baby, this is just going down. I'm like, why did I pick this book first?
But it's good. Like we see good. This. It's a good perspective of this in this time and different for what the boys were going through with this school and all this stuff. But yeah, it's one of them things where you gotta do something uplifting afterwards. After you read this, you gotta.
I need a boost.
Yeah, you need to boost yourself because man, this is heavy.
You've been done, because if not, you be done got drunk just sitting through talking about it, drinking 17 glasses of wine just to get your mind right. Because talking about y'all, give me a minute, let me look at the other bottle. Because
I almost walked away from y'all. I'm like, I need a refill. I almost walked away like. I almost walked away. But
oh my God.
I mean, this chapter really sad about Poor Grill.
See how I usually read ahead? I ain't do that this time. I ain't do that this time. No. It's like, do I want to see what chapter 10 is gonna tell me right now?
Girl,
I don't know, but we gonna find out, honey.
Yes, we are.
We gonna find out. But I had to take a break after.
Yeah, I understand 9. That.
I had to be like, nope. I'm gonna go on schedule as
That's why I say maybe since we're finishing off the book, I take one chapter every day because reading 2 and 3 chapters back to back and all this, I'm like, ooh. Let me light some sage or something. Let me do something here, child.
Oh my God. I can't even imagine. Like, I can't even think of like what's gonna happen next. Like,
that's what I'm saying. And that's why I didn't want to just, read ahead like I usually do when I read books. I don't want to do that right now. I don't want to do that this time. I'm like, I'm worried about what's ahead. So I'm going to take a minute and get some good spirits, maybe turn on some Kirk Franklin or and listen, put Smile on repeat.
Oh, yeah. That's
something.
A good one.
Put the song Smile, I can't.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know what's going to happen. But oh my gosh, we have how many chapters? 5?
Was it 5?
6 more?
5 or 6?
5 left.
Yeah. So it's like, I'm like, Cece, I don't know what's gonna happen. It's like,
I don't got no predictions.
Like, Lord, keep Harriet alive, please. Keep Harriet, the grandma. The grandma gotta stay alive. The Elwood ain't getting out.
Turner gotta stay alive.
I need Turner gotta stay alive, and Elwood. Y'all, they gotta make it. Like, they just have to make it out.
I'm interested to see how long that Elwood's gonna be in here. That's what I'm trying to find out. Like, does he get out? If he gets out, how long was he there? Is he one of those people from the prologue that would come back to this place whenever anniversary they had? Like, at this point, I need to see if Elwood makes it out. You know, I want him to. I'm rooting for him because he got the knowledge. He's got a potentially bright future, but it's going to be shaded down because of his experiences here. So I would need him to get out of this as soon as possible.
Right. I wonder, wait, pause. They say how long has he been there?
I don't think they have.
Like, so far?
No.
So could you say, like, Elwood been there for like a couple days and he already got beat up like that?
I don't know, because we don't know how long he's been there. So we don't know if it's been months.
Ooh. Yeah, they don't give a frame.
Not a timeline.
Yeah.
That's even what's worse. Is I'm like, how much time has been passing by? Like,
I'm like, well, dang, is this like day 3? He done got beat up like that? Like,
No, we know that Grandma said she's gonna come visit him the first Sunday he's there. So she came within that first week to try to see him. So he had gotten beaten already in the first week because she came that Sunday after. So she did say, she told the lawyer guy, I'm going to go see Elwood the first Sunday that he's there.
Okay, so how long in between that and then the next time she actually saw him? Because she came there and he was sick. So what about that next time that she saw him? How long was that gap?
I don't know if it's coming every Sunday or I don't know.
Maybe it's every first Sunday, which there'll be another month.
Yeah.
I don't know. I hope that
the only time it comes is on every first Sunday.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Maybe so. Mm-hmm. But I hope we get later on down the line, like, you know, he was here for this many years or however long it was.
I hope it's not years, Lord.
Oh, child. I just know it's going to be years.
Oh.
I don't see this. Look, with the way my perspective is set up, I'm a realist. And I'm like, I can't see him getting out of here in no months.
Right.
Oh, I hope he don't be in there for no years, too.
I hope that lawyer come through and get him out. I feel like the lawyer is going to play a big part in what's coming up. Because they have to uncover what was going on in this school.
Yeah.
I'm going to say, because of Elwood, because of Turner, Lord, I hope Turner make it, Lord. But because of Turner and because of Elwood and because of that lawyer and the grandma, they all brought to light what was going on in this school. So that's why I say I feel like they have to make it.
Well,
and they don't necessarily need to make it, but I would hope they will make it. Yeah. You still tell the story and it will be gone. Lord Jesus, don't.
All I know is from the prologue, they said students have found this place. So I don't know. In my head, when I hear that, I'm thinking Turner, Elwood, everybody else was there. I don't think they had anything to do with this place being found by other people. So I could be wrong, and maybe they told them and nobody listened. Maybe that was part of it too. But I don't know if they necessarily have like, look, let me show you, and then. But what really drove the process of this getting out was the students finding it, and then they kind of blasted it to people, and then I think news picked it up and all that sort of stuff. So it could be very well possible that the group of boys have mentioned this before, and people found out about it, and maybe they just couldn't do nothing about it at that time. I don't know.
But I feel like Elwood would be the only one that would.
Oh yeah, for sure. He'd be the one because he's.
So I feel like
protester.
he has to be.
Yeah.
In it somewhere.
That would make sense.
I feel like he has to.
Yeah.
Even going back to how he liked the whole activism point, standing up for stuff. I feel like he's going to be the one that's going to reveal what's going on in this school.
That's a very good point.
Right.
So, just like I said, I just don't know who he's going to reveal it to. I feel like that lawyer might come in handy, but. All right, y'all. So, what's your predictions for the rest of the book? We gonna finish it up this week.
I already told you my predictions.
Well, we know how you feel about Elwood.
Look, I want the boy to get out. I want them all to get out. But the reality of it is they ain't all gonna get out. So let's just hope that Elwood and Turner make it out. Maybe Harper helps in some sort of way to make this happen.
Oh, and that's a good point because she got a girl. Well, did she make it? I think they had got into it when they were getting ready to leave. But if he has a girlfriend still on the out, maybe he could be telling her what's going on.
I also had a thought of what if the exact opposite happens and something ends up happening to Harper, and then the boys are now no longer able to do their community service anymore with Harper. I thought about that as I was reading about it. I'm like, man, this dude's too nice. Is something going to happen to him where, this is not necessarily going to be happening anymore with him?
Right. Well, all right, ladies. It was a good discussion. All right. I hope y'all come back. Like, share, and subscribe. The Red and Wine Podcast on all platforms, Facebook, Instagram. It's not on Twitter. I think I should make a Twitter. I think. Should I go ahead and make a Twitter?
Oh, Lord. And I need to remember what my password is because I ain't been on my Twitter.
It's not on Twitter, but YouTube, Facebook, Instagram. It's all over. Y'all come back and listen and let's chat. The Nickel Boys. This is the last one, y'all. We're going to finish it up. I can't wait. Oh my gosh. All right. We'll see y'all.
Bye.
Bye.